3 more sets of lines on each side to draw in. And thanks to Fred, he said, look, it's easiest now to draw in this, there's a line that starts here, and there's a line that starts here, and one that starts in the middle. It's probably easiest to draw the line of the middle first, because our mind just has an easy time splitting lines in half. So we're going to let the bottom of the shell be one line that we're going to split, and the top line being this center lobe that we just draw in. So we'll basically split those two. Think about the arc of the curve here. Get a lot of spring in there. Just kind of try to split those two lines. You can go from both the top and the bottom. Alright, got that one in. Now, when you draw on the bottom line, you've got to split the line you just drew in on the bottom of the shell. Get rid of flat spots. Those will really show up in the final carving. Alright, we'll do the same thing. We'll split the first shell and the middle line next. If it helps, you can take a measurement between the lines at various places and put a mark and then draw through that mark. Sometimes that's useful. But generally freehand is enough because you'll be able to nudge these lines one way or another as you're carving. Okay, so there's the layout for one side of our shell. You can see it. Now repeat that on the other side. Okay, the added degree of difficulty with the second side of the shell is that not only do you have all the constraints that you had on the first side, as far as making sure that there's no flat spots in the line and trying to get the lines to be equidistant as you step across the shell. But you also have to make sure that the left and right side are symmetric. So as you're laying these things out, I'm routinely sighting down the bottom of the, sighting from the bottom of the foot, looking towards the knee post, and just rolling the leg around and just making sure that those lines are continuous, no breaks, no flat spots. Once you have the layout done, now you can start carving. So take your time, make sure you get the layout right, and once that's done, then the fun stuff begins. Now, the first thing you want to do is punch out the background. And this really is just using a bunch of stop cuts. We're going to come in and punch around the perimeter of the shell and then remove material from the background. So We'll use a couple of different gouges. And these are listed on the plans. But really just find one that fits your shape. Use whichever one fits. And this will tend to slip in the clamp, so be careful. Want to come pretty much straight up and down. That is, you want the bevel, whatever surface is against the shell, you want that surface to be orthogonal or perpendicular to the surface of the wood. Otherwise you'll back cut quite a bit, and for this I wouldn't recommend back cutting. A lot of carving, back cutting really lightens up the image, lightens up the final features, but for these shells I wouldn't do that. If you don't have a big gouge, you can use a smaller gouge and just walk it around. Punch it multiple times. Alright, so down here, really just a bunch of 2s, 3s, maybe even some 5s. I think the majority of this can be done with a 3. I use a 312. You can just even push it by hand, but mallet helps. Set at 20, I think, down the bottom. All right. I'll walk this around and do the same thing on the other side. That we have the outside punched in all the way around. The next thing we want to do is start removing material out in the field. And I usually use a 2.5 or 2.8. Remember to work from the high spots down. So I'm going to carve this way, up from kind of this lobe to the top, and I'm going to carve from here down. Right in this section, sometimes it's easiest to come in perpendicular to the shell. You might tear out a little bit, but just carve what the wood gives you. So I'm just going to start relieving the field. About the only thing that you can screw up is if you really take out a lot of material, you gouge into the shell. So just be a little bit careful. Roll your hand around like this, but it's not real difficult. Of all the carving we've done, this is probably the easiest. If you want, you can take and fair in the entire field now, but we'll do that later with a rasp. And all I'm trying to do at this point is just remove a little bit so I can continue to lower the field. Otherwise, I won't be able to get my gouge in there.